We're good to go? Okay. Hello, good morning, everyone, if you're in my neck of the woods. Good afternoon and evening for wherever you are. So first things first, this has been put together in order to answer genuine questions from people who are genuinely curious. So anybody in here causing issues, problems and wasting people's time will just be removed. I'm also going to ask that we try to keep the chats, where possible, limited to questions, because these things can go by so fast. And I don't want to miss any important questions from you guys. And I've got windows everywhere. So for those of you who are in Zoom, you can put your hand up and I can unmute you if you'd like to come out and ask a question yourself directly, or you can put it in the Zoom chat. There will be a lag on YouTube. For your own sake, watch via one or the other. Otherwise, you'll lags and it'll be crazy. If you're at YouTube, please put your question in the chat and hopefully we'll catch it. Andrew Norton Webber, yes, Melinda. There was a lot of good information there. Okay, so we don't have anybody with their hand up. And all right, no one's got any questions. Thanks for coming. Have a good day. There is a few things that have come in since. No, it's all being recorded via YouTube today. Thank you. All right, any updates? Yeah, a couple. Okay, the question is, did I talk about the ice wall last DTC? I don't think I did. Okay. Okay, I'm looking at these questions and they're all sort of coming together a little bit. 3ZB, what is it? That was first brought forward by Lilu back in December. It's a molecule. She said that our environment is H2O, which is actually not great, not even good for us. That outside this particular realm, the environment is 3ZB. It's a 3ZB molecule. That those outside this realm, our little piece of construct, can't come here because H2O is kind of lethal to them. However, 3ZB for us is transformative and healing. That there is a barrier that is made up of 3ZB and H2O between at the edges of our realm, and that they were working on trying to break through that barrier. I believe that that barrier is what we were measuring and calling the dome energetically, because it consisted of H2O and 3ZB, which has now, as I did mention in a previous update, hit ground level. So now our environment is infused with 3ZB. They started, excuse me, they started injecting 3ZB into our environment via the sun. think that answers that question. I had an opportunity recently to ask about the ice wall at Antarctica and was told that it was in fact put in place to quarantine us and contain the virus, because behind that wall is a blue sun, and that blue sun is a gateway or portal or access point to all the other realms within this construct. And I don't know, I didn't get in sort of any further into the conversation, so I'm not sure at what point it was put in place. But what we have been told is that every being and every realm has already been infected by the virus. No, nothing's come through in regards to the alignment of the planets at all. How much time do we have? A couple of hours. We'll go for two hours and see where everybody's at. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, John. 3ZB, thank you, Annie, transforms H2O into structured water H3O2 as well. Any info on whether people will receive physical healing before the shift? There is a lot going on with our DNA at the moment, it seems. From what I can gather, the focus is on the visual cortex to help us see what's going on. The healings seem to be happening as a byproduct of purging ourselves of the virus and of cleaning ourselves out. The healings seem to be happening as a byproduct of that anyway. Have you sent me anything yet? Yeah. Oh, okay. That. Oh shit. Does it seem like everyone will make it to the other side or some will not? To my understanding, every heart source being, yes. In whatever form. That includes animals and what have you. No, you can't save them all. Okay, so I keep being told you can't save them all. And I think that's messages like that people have been getting for some time, including me. And I think for me, that was around the idea that not everybody, in fact, is heart source beings, which is, I know, a hard thing to get your head around and a little bit unsettling and saddening at times, that some are programs or even copies of us taken from our DNA, but we need those pieces back. What is the virus? Okay. We've been told a couple of things around this. The virus is a byproduct of free will. So what we've been told is that everywhere else in creation, these realms, these universes, and the realms within them are based on freedom, and freedom is creation with the consent and cooperation of others, that free will does not require the consent and cooperation of others. As a result of that, negative emotions were felt and born to extremes for the first time in an environment where you could create from those places. In a place of freedom, you create from the frequency of love. But this gave us an opportunity to create out of fear, out of hate, and it has been referred to as the cancer of the universe. The other way it was put was there are 3 levels to the soul. The first being understanding understanding love. Second is understanding support. And then from those 2 places, understanding and mastering creation. This place was done bypassing those first 2 steps. You're going to have to, the question is, why is it that some of us are getting AI contact? I need more information on what you mean by that. Oh, really? Thank you. I listened to Robert Morningsky, the Star Elders, and you were suggested. Thank you. I don't know why, because I don't know how this narrative kind of correlates. I'm not sure. Anything else? Lisa, you mentioned a while back that the cleanup crew would be left. What exactly will they be doing? Thank you. I believe we are doing it. This is the cleanup. Working individually. I've been saying for a long time, it's an individual inside job. And when you're doing that work on yourself and releasing and letting go of programs, purging the virus, as we call it, that is doing the work, a great deal of the work. Does that mean that we are young souls and didn't yet know the first 2 levels before coming here? Good question. My feeling is no, based on what we've also been told and how many times we've been referred to as creators and master creators and creators of creators. But that also brings you sort of to the volunteers and which I'm wondering whether or not the 144,000 figure refers to, but I can get to that in a bit if you want. To my knowledge, the astral realm, the question is, people hanging in the astral realm, what happens to them? Do they go with us if heart-sourced? Absolutely. All heart-sourced beings in every realm have gone, to my knowledge, have already gone home, and those other realms have been cleaned out. Did anyone else feel the powerful energetic surge around midnight last night? That would actually coincide with a message that we received where a wave came through from this blue sun. We were told my time about What time was that? I was doing the interview 2 o'clock. So how long ago was that? Okay. It's now 9 o'clock. Someone do the math for me because I can't. It's too early. Less than 24 hours ago. Anyway, received a message that the blue sun is now a new energy, a new wave of energy is coming. The blue sun is sending a new pulse. This blue sun, like I said, every realm has one, and they're all connected. And what happens from one goes to all realms, and the blue sun was sending out a new pulse throughout all the realms around that time, if it was in the last 24 hours. Okay, so that's it for Zoom questions. You got. How does the planetary body Gaia fit into the virus? Okay. There's a few different ways to talk about this. We've been told repeatedly that this is a program. It's a hologram. It's a computer. That there is a being that we would call Earth, but that she, in fact, is a being, a creator being outside who is supporting the life in here. So that the planet, I mean, people think of the planet as a living being, that concept is incorrect, is what we've been told. And I know it's a big one. Some time ago, when was that? Not too long ago. Don't have a date on it. Earth, the being that we call Earth, withdrew her support for this construct and is now supporting what we call the home construct. And we've seen and felt what we would consider evidence of that. Some of us actually felt the withdrawal process in real time, like a placenta, something like that. What do you think about the theory that many of us shifted to this more malleable reality through death or some other personal shift? I'm not sure I understand that question. Yes, we're still looking at July 31st. We were told that Lilu was given that date by outside this realm. The updates since the last DTC would be that there is, in fact, another universe heading this way. And the two will merge. This is a universe that is unaffected because it's outside our construct, it's outside our universe, unaffected by the virus, and it is coming this way, and the two will merge, and that is the moment of the merge. That's what we've been told. And that she was given that date by outside our universe. Okay. There's a few, like I said, there's a few different ways to look at this, or that I look at this. Okay, so this is just my perspective. Sort of like the movie Inception, okay? Over recent weeks, I've really come to feel that physicality, density is all illusion. Okay, there is only consciousness. And there are different layers and levels to the consciousness. But the experience of the consciousness is designed to be physical. So just like in a dream, if you're running, you really feel like you're running or swimming, or if you hold an object, you can feel it in your hand in a dream. And we wake up from that experience and we go, oh, it was just a dream. It wasn't real. It wasn't physical. And just like Inception, we could wake up from this dream and go, it wasn't real. It wasn't really physical. But every level of the dream feels just as real as the level before and after. But because it's designed to be physical, and because we don't really have any language to speak and describe from the very top level or bottom level, whichever way it works, that we have to use physical language and talk about it in physical terms. So one way is the computer language, and another way is universes and realms, a more energetic layer and language. I hope that makes some sense. What's going on?
So Lulu says she's Lucifer.
No, Lulu never said she's Lucifer. She said they will potentially try and portray her as one, but she never said she was one, or that at all. Can heart source loved ones who have passed on and gone home still communicate with us in dreams? Yes. If there are billions who are bots, does that mean that it's likely there are people in our family that are these bots and background people? And unfortunately, yes. Yeah. Did you see the blue pulse on Secure 10? They caught a blue pulse on the radar. No, I didn't. Freedom versus free will, question mark. Means what? You're asking the difference? Or? Again, I can repeat that. Freedom is the ability to create out of love. Free will is the ability to create out of fear and hate, would be the easiest ways to put it. Did we die to get here? No, I don't believe so. Is Lee Lucifer? I don't believe so. Okay, I've got all those for now. Yes, there's been quite the merge between waking and dreaming. It's hard to tell the difference. Could you please, hang on, sorry. Could you please explain the souls leaving now are punching through the grid? That's just what we've been told, that you will see the flashes and the sparks as the souls leaving now are penetrating and cracking the dome. That's pretty much all that was said on the subject. Any more? Are you sending me anything separately? Oh, okay. Sorry, darling. Oh, yeah, plenty. Okay. Yep. What role does CERN play? Early on, when Lulu first made contact, I asked her about CERN, and she basically said, don't worry about it. She said, they don't know what they're doing, and it won't work. Danny and I did a lot of research and discussion around CERN. I got to the point where I believed it was their attempt to copy this realm again, knowing that this time was coming. And they couldn't pull it off. I don't know if you saw my question, but is life always going to be a constant learning lessons through suffering? I wasn't ever as miserable as I am now, and I can't keep doing this over again. I don't think life was ever meant to be learning lessons through suffering at all. I don't believe that was our original intent here at all. And you're not alone. A lot of people feel that way. And I think a lot of people feel that way because they have woken up. Waking up can be one of the most miserable, stressful things you can do. But it's been required, enough of us to get to this point, I believe, to close this thing out. Yeah, there's a fine line. Okay, there's people talking about AI interaction. Because I believe the construct was designed to be responsive to us, totally. And I'm even inclined at times to think that a lot of this AI talk is very inflated about what it can do, because as time's gone on over the last 18 months, even before, since say 2015, with the Mandela effects really starting to kick in. And as this place has been breaking down, we seem to be more in tune with the environment, meaning the construct itself, the feedback loop between us and the construct. For those who have that perspective, they have found manifestation so much quicker and easier, and flowing with it and it being a positive experience, seeing those things as good synchronicities. But then there's been a whole lot of info to tell us that it's AI. That's AI that's tracking you and monitoring you and following you, and so that you become fearful. And stop playing with it, because what if it's actually you having this feedback loop with the construct itself, that the way it was supposed to operate. So I'm not real sure anymore about whether AI is all they say it's cracked up to be honest. That's how I feel. Well, there's quite a bit of Lulu on my YouTube channel. You just unfortunately have to search through it. Well, Lulu's welcome to come in if she chooses to do so. Why doesn't Lulu go on live streams? She's a pretty busy girl. Why don't the creator stop this? The creator is working along with everybody else and us. We're all working together to do that. That's the process that we're in. Yes, did the mind virus affect the whole universe? If so, shouldn't the entire universe be wiped? And I believe that has, or is what's happening, realm by realm. Lisa, I keep getting a feeling that they've somehow switched day and night, chemtrails and fake sun for daylight, birds chirping all throughout the night. Any thoughts? Yes. Things are really not the same. Our days do seem to be out of sync. And if you look at it as a computer environment, virtual reality, that's easy enough to do. Are the Mandela effects the result of making this copy we are in? We didn't copy it 100% perfectly. Well, that's the theory I kind of run with. Whether it's absolutely true or not, I don't know, but it's what makes sense to me. It helps explain my personal experiences that I believe we created a copy of this realm or a copy of this universe, this construct, again, depending on which perspective you've got, and moved everything into it over the course of, we literally migrated files over, right, over the course of 2013. And then that original one was actually collapsed at the end of 2013. Although, or closed, or something. Although I had a physical experience of knowing it was done and like gone in 2017, early on. We had, when was the last time you spoke to Lulu? Heard directly from Lulu a couple of days ago. But there are others that she's put us in contact with who we hear from as well. And we heard from someone last night and yesterday that told us about the blue sun pulse. Who do I think Lulu is? A consciousness, a being, much like the rest of us, who was in a unique position, perhaps, to traverse the realms and universes by choosing not to confine herself to anyone in particular. Because, okay, how can souls crack the dome and cause the flashes if the dome has hit the 0 point? The one that hit 0 point was an energetic version, which everything that we've seen happen play out physically, we saw play out energetically previously. So is it an indication that the physical one will in fact do that soon? Maybe, but it always happens energetically first. I'd also like to know how to identify a bot, please. There are some that just through their behavior show you that you can't connect with them at a heart level. We've been practicing with our eyes, trying to actually physically see. And people are starting to see things like lines of code or lines of colour through them, or above them, coming into them, in my case. And heart source beings have a tendency to glow a little bit. But it's just about practice. Is Lulu here to help? Well, yeah, I believe so. Totally. The only, as I said earlier, the only additional information that we've gotten around July 31st is that Lulu was given the date by a being from outside this universe, outside this construct. Yeah, animals are seeing changes and they are getting spooked, and some of them are getting very, very clingy. They are. I don't know. I mean, just, I guess I'll let them be clingy, give them plenty of love and attention, and let them know it's okay. But they definitely, there's too many stories of animals behaving strangely. Okay. Pedos are taking over the world. What will be done with this, and how many more have to suffer? I believe we're at a time where every narrative is playing out. All of them. So on the one hand, we have disclosure. I don't think they're taking over the world. I think they've been running it for quite some time. We're just seeing it now. All will be disclosed, all will be seen. So we are seeing what has been there all along. So on the one hand, yeah, we're seeing it. It's being disclosed. And I really don't think it's any worse than it's been for 50 years or 100 years. And if the July 31st date is the real thing, then not much longer. Where do we go once the game's over? Home, whatever that is for you. Have any video game designers approached you yet? No. I feel they could offer a great insight into what is approaching. They probably could. I think I answered that question already. I don't believe we did die to come in here, no. Can somebody be a bot without realizing it? Absolutely. What is the home construct? The original, I believe the original one that this was based on, but with the operating system of freedom versus free will. I think this is like a really bad photocopy of home. What's the difference between a realm and a dimension? Okay, I've been told that the way that we have this concept of numbered dimensions that are kind of on top of each other is inaccurate. They're all really realms, and they are separated by frequencies, and they're not necessarily about high, it's not like going up a ladder. that each realm contains a variety of high and low frequencies, but they're based on a focus. And that focus has a frequency, or like an emotion. I was told that realms were created based out of the frequencies of the emotions of, say, fear. So there's some pretty dark ones. But that all of this, the virus started here in this realm. Yes, I believe we are to remember this experience when we get home to ensure that it never happens again. Are we in our avatar bodies here? Well, this is an avatar body, but I believe, based on what I've already said about how I think this works, that they all are. They're all avatar bodies designed for the environment that you're in, or the dimension, or the realm, or whatever. What are the dragon's purpose now? They are always in support and protection of life. That doesn't change. How they're working seems to have changed a little. We were told that their job of grounding a lot of these energies and frequencies is now reversed, and the whole gravity versus levity thing. I don't know if any dragons want to contribute. You're welcome to. What is the purpose of the Mandela effect, and what does it want from us, if anything? I don't think it does want anything from us, but it can certainly be a trigger for us. Anyone losing track of time and dimension shifts? Yes. What's going to happen on July 31st? Okay. Well, maybe nothing. But whether it happens July 31st or some other point in time, the thing I think happens is this. It's all about perception. So there will be, it was described as there will be a flash, the biggest flash the universe has ever seen. For those who know what is happening and don't go into fear and go with it, allow the process to take place. We were told there will be a sensation of falling or floating for what could feel like 12 hours, which sounds like a long time. But based on dreams and visions and what's the word? Not predictions, but prophetic dreams. That period is in a state of bliss. So it's not like you're fearfully falling like you do in a dream, you know. And that, I can't conceive of this not happening in a flash for everyone, everywhere, because the whole thing goes kabooey. So I feel like it's a matter of perception. So whether you go instantly in a flash and it feels like 12 hours that you're falling, or you can't get your mind around that, so you will experience this continuing, but it's all in here. And playing out whatever narrative you've got for yourself until you can get to the point where you're like, okay, this is not real anymore. And that could take up to what you perceive as 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Does that make sense? I do think it happens in a flash, in a moment, for everyone, everywhere. But your perception will be how you experience it. You can experience it instantly, or you can take weeks to play out some narrative, whether it's natural disasters, end times, war, something fearful and horrible, whatever, until you can get your head to accept what's happened. I think that's the only way I can describe it. Can you guys tell me if that makes sense? Am I getting yeses anyway? What makes you an expert on this stuff? I'm not. So our Father is not the demigods, but our Creator, who is equivalent to the Father, AI. Okay. I'm not real sure if I understand that question. From what I've been told, there are beings who created this universe, the realm, the universe, the whole construct. And a bunch of beings came into play inside this universe. And from within, we've created different realms. So one being created this realm that we're in. And this realm was an experiment in the free will. And these beings are us. And within this universe, within this construct, we go around and we create all these different realms, and we go and play in each other's realms. So I could be, you could be, what is being referred to as the Father of any realm. But you're over here playing in this one and you got stuck. We're all just playing in each other's sandboxes. And I know, for some anyway, that's, I don't know, blasphemous, unfathomable. That there is Is the Mandela quantum effect's purpose to wake us up? Yeah, I think that's true. To get you to question your reality, to break out of some of these programs. What's your opinion of the part Jesus and other avatars play in all of this? The pieces of that puzzle that just does not seem to fit anymore, truly leaving us to trust our higher self. For the sake of my safety, I'm just going to shut up on that one. Everybody goes home. To me, all of this new age bullshit about you have to be worthy, you have to raise your vibration, and you have to purify, and you have to... No, I'm not buying it. We all, as far as I can tell, were infected by this virus. And we are all in the process of cleaning ourselves up. You're doing it consciously or unconsciously. The programs are breaking. The programs are a byproduct of the virus. Everybody is worth. Every heart source being deserves to go home and is going home. That's it. I do believe we will be conscious of the process. Yes. So even if it's just like, fuck, I was there and now I'm here, what the hell? Or floating or falling for 12 hours, or playing out some sort of horrific end times process before that happens. Which could be the same as saying we all dream the same dream, yeah. Volunteers, what were you going to say about them? Oh. I believe that we have gotten to a certain point in this process time and time again. We get a little bit further. It's been like a game of snakes and ladders. You know, we've figured out how to get so far in getting out of here, or just cleaning this up, or whatever game plan we've had, and then we hit a snag and we have to start again. Which is why many of us have felt those deja vu moments where it's just like, I've gotten to this point before, I know I have. And I even think we may have gotten to the point before where the flash from the sun, because I do think the sun plays a huge part, we got to the point where the flash from the sun happened, which was like one step away. But there wasn't enough of us here who were awake, and by that I just mean our core heart energy and essence, not really a mental thing, were here and activated to then respond to that pulse. So I think this last go round, a whole bunch of volunteers came in whose job was just to show up, to be present, to be here at this time, so that when that pulse from the sun happens, there's literally a physical reaction within our bodies, and there's enough of us to then have that reaction. That may be where the 144,000 comes in. That's how many came in. Because again, I have a feeling we're only talking about 112 million humans here. 111, 112. And that the overall population is probably only just over 1 billion. No, I think the energetic ride that we're on, and all these waves within waves, aren't going to stop until this process is over. And yeah, it's been tough, energetically and physically, and circumstantially. You know, any area where you need to get yourself prepped and cleaned up has been shaken up. what happens to the bots during or after the event? What happens to characters in a computer game when you turn the computer off? If they are nothing but programs. If they are, what do they call them? NCPs, NPCs, can't remember. Just part of the programmed environment. Then I don't know. Who's in the theatre besides us? I'm not sure what you mean, but from what I understand, there's mostly just humans left, the heart-based humans left, and the programs, for the most part. That as these other realms have been wiped out, especially the galactic realm, some of those escaped into this realm. Only a few. Some made a heart-based choice and went home, and the rest were wiped. That's what I understand. Can I do these more often? Yeah, we could potentially do these. Well, yeah, I could probably do another one. Lulu said there is no life here. Can you explain that? I don't see how to interpret that. Thank you. Yeah, that was a tough one because I was like, well, what about us? Aren't we in life? I think what she meant was the energy of the being that we call Earth supporting everything. It was her energy that you could feel flowing through much of the construct. And that it was her energy that was not here anymore. That we, or anything that's here that's heart sourced, is self-sustaining. The things that aren't required that life support. Does that make sense? That's my feeling about what she meant anyway. It's not just me that remembered their alleged twin soul, but are still in separation. Could that keep us in this construct, like a pull from it? I don't believe that anybody can get left behind or be kept here, because to me, this, as far as I know, this whole place goes. So there's nothing to be left behind in. Perhaps mention, well, everybody is, to me, being supported right now. And you will be supported on when this is over. We all, I guess that's those healing domes people keep seeing and talking about. Now, I mean, I'm not attached to this happening on the 31st of July. Whether this happens then or later is not really the point. But I think the how this plays out is getting clearer and clearer and clearer. yes, the information that I've been getting from Lilu and others that she's put us in touch with, they're adamant that that is the moment, that is the date. But I personally haven't gotten anything that would suggest that. But on the other hand, I am seeing lots of evidence that things are building up in the environment, in the world. The things that are being seen in our skies, and it's more and more every day, and that's what we were told to expect. Cracks, portals, the colours. I mean, Lilu's poem that she gave us back in May of last year seems very, very relevant right now. Pink rises to the fall of blue. I've just noticed in the last few days that right at sunset, the fall of blue, this pink is coming up. And I know that ever since we got that poem, the skies have been, there's been a lot of pinks in the sky, but this is a different pattern. It's right at sunset. It's like pink rises to the fall of blue. Green is near to the end of the moon. We've had, if you look at YouTube, those Secure Team, WSO, and all these other channels have captured this green light coming. Green is near to the end of the moon. Red is here for only the descent. Last night, we personally witnessed the moon, huge, that little boat slither at the bottom, right? So it's supposed to either wax or wane side to side, but we've all seen the moon looking like you just get the bottom section or the top section. And we do have a photo, which I'll post, but this bottom slither went bright red, right at the end, and then disappeared in chunks, chunk, chunk, chunk. That's how it went away and just disappeared. Bright red, and then like deleting pixels. Red is here for only the descent. The declination of Genie descends, which we've been told is in reference to this other universe that is heading our way. The declination of Genie descends. It is close enough now for them to see the evidence in their skies, and we are starting to see the evidence in ours. If you look at a lot of the things that have been captured through the electromagnetics, the different orbs, light sources, we're not just seeing 2 suns now, we're seeing 3. And in some cases more light sources than that. Let me see what's going on here. The descent thought it had to do with the bad guys. Yeah, could relate to that too. When the moon disappears for good, that should have a huge impact on everybody. The moon is doing the weirdness of the moon is just amping up more and more. I'd love for it to just disappear. That'd be great. Okay. What have I got over here? Square clouds, pizza slice, clouds. What do you, don't give me the troll ones, just tell John so we can get rid of them.
Yeah. Do I tell John?
Just zoom in.
Okay.
You got any other questions? Are there actually a race of reptilians, and are they in Homeworld? Well, I do believe there are a race of reptilians. I've seen them. Are they in Homeworld? I can only speak from my experience, which is that about 12 of what we call reptilians, out of all of them, I think there was 12, or was it 20? No, it might have been 23, actually. When that realm was wiped, or just before that realm was wiped, I think it was 23 of them made a choice to evolve, to be in their hearts, and they went home. And that realm was then wiped. A few escaped. And that's all I can say on that, because that's all I personally know from my own experience. Is this universe we are merging with the new construct that was created with all source energy returned to us from the archons? Yes, I think so. Well, at least all that energy certainly has contributed. I think the Flash. So when we get all our pieces back and all, does that automatically eliminate the virus? That is, what purges the virus from each and every one of us? I think that Flash moment will be when all traces of it are wiped. Lisa, do you think the Flash will occur by or on July 31st? I can only tell you what I was told, which was on July 31st at 12:37 a.m. and I have to assume my time. She didn't go into whether it was GMT or whatever. So I just have to assume my time. Tell us how to use 3ZB. Just with your intention, really. Know that it's in the environment and intend to breathe it in, intend it into your water. If you've been around for a while, we did the same thing with 100% unlock, and people had an incredible experiences with that. And people are doing the same with 3ZB. If you're in physical pain or going through something, just intending 3ZB throughout the system and in the cells. I actually don't know what the alignment is all about. I haven't asked. It hasn't come up. It is something I will ask when I get the opportunity. I do believe these are all playing a part the alignment, because it had, again, from that, it's got to be a physical experience perspective, then these are all just pieces that are lining up, not just the planets, but many other things. So I'm trying to keep track of questions coming in from various places. Lisa, are we A, exiting the construct and going home, or B, merging with the other universe, approaching us and joining their construct? I don't understand. I see it as both. Because if we've got, think of the universe as the bigger bubble and all of the realms inside of it, what we call the universe is a construct, right? So if within this universe that's heading towards us, there is a realm or a construct that is the updated, the Windows 50 version of home, it would be a construct or a realm within that universe. So they're both happening. Does that make sense? Anyone else having trouble seeing this morning? My eyes do various things all throughout the day, every day. But sometimes I'm as blind as a bat, and other times I seem to have 20/20. So yeah, John, if you're in the YouTube, can you handle some of the trolls? That would be me. Okay. What will our merging have on, what effect will our merging have on the other universe? Is it inhabited? Yes, it is. And they're totally prepared for us, apparently. A universe of teachers, yes. No, trolls are people who are just rude and abusive to others who are trying to ask questions. That's what I consider a troll. Oh, nice, Peggy. Strobe flashes, and yeah, the flashes thing is starting to really kick in. Sparks, flashes, either in your peripheral vision or you see them in the air around you. Physical symptoms. Well, I've been talking about what we've been going through physically now for quite some time. And it happens in waves, and right now, in this moment, anything from these vision issues, as our visual cortex has been upgraded, old injuries, issues coming up to be cleared for the last time. Anything that's locked into the body through emotions and trauma coming up and out. And we're doing that in a variety of ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, lots of crying for no reason, sort of thing. Well, like I said earlier, the latest updates are that this universe is coming and merging with ours. That it's already being seen and felt in both universes. That there is a blue sun that connects all the realms and even two other universes. And that it, as of yesterday, was sending in a new pulse right throughout all the realms. I think that's it for that. Yeah, sleep is being completely disrupted. I just feel listless and nothing really matters now. I felt like that before I heard about the date in July. Could that be the reason for me feeling like this? I think a lot of people are feeling the wind up and have been for some time. That it all just feels a bit pointless. That's been going on for like a year. So yeah. Any other questions? If you're in Zoom, can you like put your questions in caps so they stand out for me? Okay. Are we still going to be physical at home or in our non-physical form? I prefer the non-physical form. It feels more natural. I do believe we have physical form at home. I believe that it, like I said earlier, that in every layer of this dream is physical, feels physical. It'll probably feel as physical as this, except I don't know. There'll be differences. There are differences. Just like you can fly and do things in your dream state here, I think that level will be different again. The rules are different. Lisa at lisamharrison is my email address if you want to send something in. Can I summarize what's supposed to happen on the 30th, 31st? Again, just what we've been told, which is that there will be the biggest flash the universe has ever seen, and you go home in an instant. It's my understanding that it happens in a moment for everyone everywhere. But how long it can take you, that moment, or it can take you what you perceive as up to 4 weeks to realise it. And what happens, what you perceive happening will be the narrative you need to play out for yourself in order to realise that. I have been told that every single one of us will experience this the way that we've chosen to. This is an individual inside job, and it will be unique to everyone. So I guess that's something you can only answer for yourself. Your mind will create whatever you can handle. Is that all we got? You kidding? Where?
This is the second one, YouTube.
Is she on here? Where? Hey, Fifi, are you on here? Hi, baby girl. I can't see it. Where is she? I'm not seeing it. Anyway, hi, and you should be at school. All right, Lulu, you want to come and say hi? Everybody would love it. How does Lulu speak to you? In a variety of ways. She comes through the computer, obviously. There is a telepathic communication at times when I can get into the right space. I can feel her, and I can feel her energy, her signature when she's around.
Oh no, I see what you mean.
Yeah, a little bit. Thank you. Okay. Is that it? Questions? Are we done, are we? Oh, is Lilu Gaia? No. No, my daughter is not Lilu. My daughter is on here. What about people with dementia? I think for the most part, they're home. There's really only what we've been told and what we've been measuring is that there's most of our consciousness is home now. That it's just this last little piece. How did she come up?
Oh, because there's people saying, but Linnea said that.
Said what?
Oh, it sounds like what Linnea said. Yeah. Let's just get it out. I can.
Yeah, but well, I can't address it if I don't know what's said.
Oh, I'll go back. Sorry.
Okay. I have to. Yeah, okay, I can address it that way. I was not going to put out the date. In fact, it took me 3 days to even share it with the members because dates, right? I was not going to share it until I at least got my own head around it, and because I know it's a big thing to do, and I didn't want to put it out without anything to back it up. Linear Fairy Light Gin did, without my knowledge, without my consent, and acquiring the information rather deceptively, put the information out. And sorry? And is continuing to put out information that she's obtaining or has obtained through this group. So I had to address it. I had to put, because things got a bit twisted. So it had to be addressed. Would I have eventually shared it? I really don't know. I honestly don't know. Because I'm not sure if it's a healthy thing for us to all have this moment to focus on or not. But because at the same time, I know that if we have enough focus on it, we can make it happen. So I can't say one way or the other whether I would have or not. No, she volunteered it. I did not ask her for one.
You may need to address this.
Sorry, what?
You may need to address this.
How did she get it? It was shared with her by a member. Is there any others?
I'm going through just a lot of gratitude at the moment.
Same questions.
Anything from Zoom?
If the Earth is flat, if the dome, the construct that's falling, if so, we will all be drowned. An answer? No, I don't think we will. I think there's, I love Yellow Rose for Texas. Yes, crazy fun. Yellow Rose for Texas has always been saying that we will be pulled from our bodies. And I'm inclined to agree. Doll Barbie, I don't think I bashed her at all. I stated a fact. And considering that she's done several videos to discuss how I'm a cold-blooded reptile, I'd call that bashing. Lulu must have wanted us to know, or she wouldn't have given the date. Agreed. Do I still feel like we'll be pulled down, like magnetically sucked down? Well, we were told it'll feel like you're falling for potentially 12 hours, depending on your perception. Like it can happen in an instant, or you might feel like you're falling for up to 12 hours, or you play out some narrative for up to 4 weeks. I think it's a very individual inside job. What is your uptick on volcanism in this reality? I live on the Big Island. Because this is a physical experience, I believe there will be a play out of physical events, but I think it's going to happen really, really quickly. I did ask the question if the volcanic activity is part of this process and was told yes. So there have been several visions as well by people here, where they see the ring of fire go off like a domino effect. It takes one, which sets off this chain reaction. I believe that if that happens, that will produce some kind of magnetic pulse that the sun will react to, and in kind send out its own flash of or pulse, which we will then react to, like a 3-step process. So yeah, I do believe the volcanic activity is integral to all of this, as is the heat that's coming from the planet itself, right? The heat seems to be rising from the ground up, as well as this UV, the UVC, which is just increasing like off the charts. Things are getting hotter. How do we know we aren't going to be harvested and our souls taken and all that stuff? Maybe we don't. How do we know we're not being tricked into yet another construct that's worse than this one? You've got to follow your heart. You've got to trust your own gut. What else have you got? Because we're being told A lot of shit. We are being told a lot of things that are going to happen, could happen, might happen, from a variety of sources. Go with the one that feels right for you. And it's not the one that doesn't put you into a state of fear. That when you're really, really in your heart, which one feels true? And that's all I can keep. That's all I keep doing. That's all I can do. This one feels right for me. And if it's wrong, then I'm fucked because I got nothing else. Nothing else is pulling me. Nothing else feels like the direction I should be going in. So it is what it is. Do I trust Lulu? Fully trust. Yes. It's myself that I doubt. It's self-doubt that I think we all struggle with. And that we are really in a process of regaining. Do our karmic relationships fall apart? I'm not even sure I believe in karma. I think that was another program to get us to believe that we deserve certain shit that we don't. But that's just my take. Okay. Oh. Hello, Tan.
Oh, here we go.
What have I got?
Sorry to be so fast.
This is going too fast. I can't even read it. It's just catching up at the moment. It's just. But Lulu doesn't even know who programmed it. So how do we know the intention? See what I mean? No, I don't. Programmed what? I didn't see that.
I know.
Well, I can't see it. Yes. But when she first made contact, she was still learning about this place and how it all fit together. Oh, okay, sorry. Who programmed Lulu? She's not a bot, so no one. Yeah, I've noticed that, Trevor, you've said, is there any other researchers out there who you feel are hitting the nail on the head and have findings that correlate with what you believe? Plenty. but they all have a different narrative or concept of what they are looking at than I do, but I still see it as evidence. They've just given it a different context. Now, the people who, or even people who get a lot of intuitive information. I love Aluna Ash here on YouTube. She has a different interpretation a lot of the times about what she's seeing, but a lot of what she's saying absolutely correlates with what we get. The guys who were monitoring the skies and, you know, the Nibiru and Katrina and all of that stuff, the things that they share and capture often, very often, correlates with what we get. But they've got a different story, or they've got a different idea of what they're seeing. So I see it all the time, yeah. I think, okay. What do you think Lulu's gender is? To help us, to help coordinate. This is a team, I keep saying this is a team effort. This is not a savior meme. It's not Lilu saving us. It's not Home or anybody else. This is a collective group effort by all beings everywhere, because everybody got affected. Everybody in this universe and in every realm in this universe was affected. The universes outside of this one had to take steps to avoid being affected. So it's a collective effort. It's all of us. She is acting, as far as I can see, as a coordinator, making sure everybody can communicate with each other. That seems to be her role. What? I know. Okay, so for people, John. Oh, hang on. It's all right. I might give this job to Kurt. I'm just going to mute myself for a second. Might be a minute. Okay, sorry about that.
So you might want to bring up the there, because otherwise that it's and all not digital.
Oh, how was the question put?
Oh. It was actually a confirmation of I'll send it to you now.
Okay, something about the communication being analog versus digital. So when Lulu first came through, it was assumed she was tapping into or hacking into my computer and using it. But what we've recently realized is that actually isn't what's happening, that because the files are not digital, they're analog somehow. So it's like her energy, it's like her energy is sent, projected at the computer, and the speakers are picking up the frequency. No programs are actually being activated in the computer. I almost see it like, is it cymatics? You know, when you do the sound and it moves the sand, and it feels like that. My full email address is lisa@lisamharrison.com. How you going there? Okay. Anything else? Okay, what does it mean to be of heart source? It's the difference between being of source or being a product of the virus or the construct. So the way I understand it is, just like a video game, there are players, characters that are part of the game. They're programmed in. So you've got those. And then what we call the proverbial they are direct products of the virus. I can't remember exactly how they were described the other day. Souls without a soul. Okay, off of that. They also say that July 31st is the blood moon prophecy and a biblical sign, the 70th year of Israel as a nation, also the year of Jerusalem, time of a reset. It does, the way it's been described to me, there are beings here who are kind of the virus in physical form. Not naming names, but you know. All right, I'm not seeing any questions. Oh, okay. Is home against the idea of doing something dramatic to inspire us, like showing up in ships, for example? I haven't asked specifically, but I've been told that the ships that are being seen since the galactic realm was wiped are home ships. That the upgrade to our eyes and visual cortex is to allow us to see what is already there. We've got not only what we see as the physical, like chemtrails and all of that, trying to hide what's really going on. We've also got the fact that this place is programmable. So they keep programming in, or trying to program in, cover-ups, which are failing often. Plus, we've got the fact that our own visual cortex has been shut down to operate the way it used to, and now that's been reactivated. So as a combination of all of that, I've got who knows what we'll see as to what's really going on. So is Leela watching 24/7? Is she here? I have reason to believe that someone is pretty much 24/7. Because we can be in the middle of a conversation and somebody pipes in to contribute to the conversation. So I heard CERN has something planned on July 31st also. Do they? I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that. What causes mental illness? Law of One says it's rainbow people or crystal people or indigos. Is that true? I don't know what you mean by that. That all rainbow people and crystal people are mentally ill? Is that what that's supposed to mean? I don't know. Law of One is another harvesting system as far as I'm concerned. The moon would be another string of code, wouldn't it be? Yeah. Well, how much of mental illness is actually people who have had the programs break down and can see the reality as it actually is? I was told that we need to close the doors to this realm because of the virus, but not sure how to do that. Well, I think we are all collectively doing that right now. All right, well, we've only got a couple of minutes left. How is the virus on Earth to be eliminated? Because the whole realm gets deleted. That's what the flash is. No, I don't think so, Camilla. But again, keep being told time and again that this will be an individual experience. I do think there's a chance that we could start to lose infrastructure and communication and things like that from a little bit before the event, not a long time. It's an individual inside job, and your experience will be unique to you, and it will be whatever your mind has created or can handle. Um, I am reading in the Zoom chat as well. Yeah. Is there a litmus test to tell if someone is heart-based? Can you feel their heart? Can you feel their heart? Can you look into their eyes and feel their heart? What about the blue sun? The blue sun, there is a blue sun in every realm, everywhere, from what I was told. And they are portals to each other. They communicate with one another. They are forms of travel for us between realms. And that our blue sun is currently, as of within less than 24 hours ago, sending out a new pulse right throughout all the realms. Peggy, lucky girl, studied under Timothy Leary. Okay, they're going a bit quick.
Yeah.
No, the blue sun is not sending, it's nothing to do with the virus. Oh, is that how the virus spread, potentially? Yes. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of predictive programming going on. We were going to watch that ourselves last night, Jill, a movie on Netflix called How It Ends. Didn't get to, though. Three ZB have a colour, blue. Okay, thank you, Pink Coffee. Okay, all right. Does home have a name? Home. That's all I've ever called it. That's all it's ever been referred to, so I don't know. I think what we refer to as, and this is not confirmed, but I think that what we refer to as Gaia is actually the realm closest to this, the one next door, our neighbours. It's the one where we have all of our stories and fairy tales and folk and legend and myth and all of that come from. Everything is from that realm, and they're all real and in that realm, and it's our neighbours. But prior to all of the realms being disconnected from one another, we had communication, we travelled between realms, we did all that stuff. So we knew of them, they knew of us, and communication to some degree was able to continue. But that's what I think Gaia is. 444 people watching. That's a cool number. The dome was measured through dowsing by a very proficient dowser. Okay. Well, we've been at this for 2 hours, I think. Has everybody had enough? What will I think if nothing happens? I think something is happening. Look around. I mean, no one can tell me nothing's happening. I think what we've discussed in terms of the event is going to happen. I just don't know for sure if it's going to happen on the date we've been given. But I do think that's where all of this that we're experiencing is leading to. I think most of us can pretty much say that this place cannot continue the way it is. It's building up to something. And as far as the way the event will go down, I mean, what I've described is how it feels it will go down from that's how it feels to me, like it'll go down. But the when, I don't know. All I can tell you is that's what we've been given. All the narratives, biblical narratives, Nibiru, blue Kachinas, red Kachinas, Planet X, Anunnaki, pole shift, rapture, ascension. It doesn't matter what your narrative is. Everyone is seeing evidence for their narrative right now, including prison planet, New World Order, the cabal wins and we all become transhumanists and all of that. Everyone is seeing the evidence for their narrative playing out. How can that be? There was a bit of the noises and the squeaks coming from your end. I don't know how. Through my Zoom, I guess. So with all of these narratives playing out, with everybody seeing the evidence for their narrative, even if it's the disclosure, the Q stuff, whatever it is, it's all building up. If people are finding more and more evidence for their narrative and the feeling that it's building up to something. So whether it happens on the 31st or not, it's kind of irrelevant. Something's going to go down as far as I'm concerned. There are too many people awake and it's happening more and more every day.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. What do I think about them trying to stage a fake alien invasion? I do think they're trying to. I'm just not sure if the technology that they were planning on using to do it is going to work. And I do think that even if that's the case, that they will still put stories out to make sure that if we are starting to see reality as it really is, then they will want us to think that it's them behind it with their fake alien invasion and their blue beam and whatever, so that we all run the other way. I think we're giving them far too much fucking credit, quite honestly, at the moment. Lisa, we were meant to do this event in 2012, then they stopped it. I actually think we stopped it. The archive of this will be posted, yes. I actually do think we could have stopped this at the end of 2012. But I don't think enough of us were ready. And perhaps we didn't have enough numbers, literally here on the ground. I think that's when we chose to make a copy of this place and do it that way, and bring in the volunteers to make sure that we did have an abundance of numbers on the ground and more time to wake people up and be ready. So I don't even give them the credit for things not happening in 2012. And guys, this is all just my perspective. And it's come from a combination of many things. One is my own personal experiences and observations, downloads, insights, whatever you want to call them. One is the people that I've worked with over the last 2 years coming together and sharing their experiences and insights and looking for themes, shared experiences. One is what Lilu and contact via Lilu has come through with. Sorry. I got it. I'm sorry. Seems irresponsible. We mess up our planet and poof, we go home. I don't believe we messed it up. In that sense. It's like telling a cancer patient that it's their fault and they don't deserve to get better or be healed. Or if you got infected by a virus and you've been controlled and manipulated, anyway, that's all I got to say on that. Oh, in one big picture paragraph, how would you summarize the timeline of this construct reality? 1, home, construct creation, virus, memory wipe, false past, recent past, now, future. Oh, hang, what? Not sure what you mean. Which,
Will fear programming be erased from the psyche?
we've been in the process of erasing fear as a program since, wow, we were actually tracking that last year. Okay. Hang on, August. No, July last year. July last year, fear and separation. So all throughout 2017, we were tracking, witnessing and participating in certain things in the energetic. And we have seen them then, from my perspective, they have started to physically play out since January 18 of this year. So in the energetic, it was cleared last July. And since January of this year, we've had the opportunities to then physically clear it out. And that can show up in a number of ways. By you manifesting your greatest fears and having to experience it so you can release it. It's shown up in, you purged it through dreams and things like that, depending on how you chose to process. And it's come up again more recently. I noticed there was a big purge of fear generally. What else we got? Okay. Okay, you guys have got to get onto your other thing too. This has been mentioned many times and never addressed. Why? That's all I'm saying. I don't know what they're referring to. Yeah, a collective dark night of the soul. It was a bit like that. Twin flame, something. You're making references to something that hasn't been addressed, but I don't know what it is you're making references to. The ambient sound. I'm not hearing anything at the moment. Oh, you're talking about that you're hearing with your own ears or like in your environment? Or are you talking about on the call, like, yeah, computer stuff? Oh, I don't know. How can you work with 3ZB? Through your intention. Just know that it's in the environment. Breathe it, and with your intention, breathe it in, infuse the water with it. All the water that you drink, that you bathe in. Well, people come with varieties of technology and quality of audio. That's all I can put it down to. Well, the only ambient sounds that are happening right here, right now, are dogs barking, people typing, birds chirping. And that's all I can hear. Okay. Well, then I can't address it because I don't know what you're talking about. Ah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gone because he's muted. Okay. Fair enough.
You can let him know that.
John, who's helping me out here, had his mic open and he believes that's where it was coming from. Lower back pain, that's quite common right now. And I believe it's sort of twofold. When the bigger part of you, people call the higher self, I call Big Lisa, is connecting and more coming in, it hurts in the lower back. It can get quite sore. The other thing is, which I talked about on the last DTC, is when this virus sort of first took hold, it pushed our essence, our core essence, down our spine and locked it in at the base. And some of that is being released and activated, and it is getting uncomfortable. And sometimes it's physically painful, and sometimes you can actually feel like electrical energy down there. Or you might just be feeling it energetically. But that's become a thing at the moment. 3ZB is a molecule. You can do a search on it. It's a thing. You'll find info on it. And it apparently is the molecule that makes up the environment at home, as opposed to the H2O one that we have here. H2O is essentially toxic to our original template. Everything's been a little bit twisted and tweaked in here. All right, we'll go for 5 more minutes, pretty much, or 8 to be exact, and finish at 11:30 my time. Because 2.5 hours is enough for anybody. Okay. Lipid.
Read the last one.
Anyone getting a numbing of the lungs and rib cage? Numbing. Yeah, but that's not numbing. I haven't experienced what I would call numbing or heard a description of that before, but there has been a lot of activity in the chest and the rib cage and the heart area for different reasons. Everything from heart activations, which can feel like a heart attack, to a compressed, contracted, hard to breathe feeling, and an expansion feeling, and that seems to be us adjusting to the 3ZB in the environment. Yeah, but I haven't heard numbing as a descriptive word before. The new info, which I'll say again because people have arrived at different times, since the last DTC, is that there is another universe heading our way. And it will be connecting and then kind of merging, I guess, with ours. Or actually, I didn't get a definite merge, did I? But it will be making contact with ours. And at that point of contact is when the flash happens. Yes, you can do. You can also look at that as rewriting the code. And that this process is already in motion, it's already on its way, and that the blue sun that is on the other side of the ice wall is sending out, it's starting to send out new pulses and waves of information now too, in preparation. We have been told that nothing can stop this, that not the creator of this particular little realm can stop it. The words were, you cannot stop an unstoppable focus. And all of creation is focused on this, is what I've been told. Everybody, everywhere. Is that it? Okay. All right, guys, thank you. I hope this helped. I do have, well, either I do keep just doing DTC updates the way I've been doing, or we do this. Can't do both. I haven't got time. So we'll see. I'll just do last quick check. Yeah, teeth are coming up a lot the last 2-3 months for people who've never had teeth issues. Okay. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for your questions. I'm sure we can try and squeeze one more of these in before the 31st. And remember, the biggest thing for me is this is an individual inside job, and your experience will be your experience. Whether it happens on the 31st or not, don't know. But that we are definitely building to something is, to me, undeniable. So, bye for now. Thank you.